Hi guys, it's your OrangeHealia, taking care of your health and joy and happiness and beauty in your life. Alright, today this video I didn't want it to do, but then I decided, like, you know, I'm gonna do it because we have to educate people. Especially when things are falling apart, there has to be like a positive, encouraging, happy powers, hopefully, in this community. Yes, I'm talking about all these like vegans going into non-vegan land. So, as you know, I am vegetarian 44 years now, 27 years vegan. In a month, I'm going to be actually end of April. And about 3 years almost, mostly fruitarian. So I eat fruits mostly and vegetables. I like raw, but I like to eat a lot, okay? I don't starve myself, ever, all right? And I'm gonna probably show you like once what I eat in a day, just to prove, so you know there's no starvation in my house. So yeah. It is not easy. I understand this. It's not easy to be vegan, but it's even harder to be an animal on this planet. Vegans need to have self-confidence. They have to have guts to stand up for billions of victims. You have to have an open mind, education about healthy nutrition, enough exposure to, you know, sun, you know, like, because in the dark climates, you know, when it's colder, it's quite hard, right? Like, you know, because of sun only, you can have problems with the D vitamin and calcium absorption. And then we have to know, you know, we see a lot of animal suffering. It's really heavy. Like, you know, have to be really strong emotionally as well. And then we have to be educated about healthy nutrition. We have to have, you have to understand about ecology, what does meat and dairy industry does to our planet. And then we're standing up against this greed-driven corporation agenda and massive massacre and abuse and beating and rape of over 150 billion of animals go through every year, you know, for stuff that nobody needs even. You know, so watch the Earthlings and tell me if you can swallow any animal part or secretion or period down after watching that. Like, it's something probably wrong with you if you can. It is traumatic. It's not easy to understand after some time why on this planet animal slavery has become so widespread. You know, it's just why we turn these beautiful living beings, you know, that actually they're like us. They have eyes, they have mouths, they have ears, you know. It's not like plants that, you know, do I look like a tree to you? No, I look closer to the dog or, you know, or a cow or something like that than do I look to like a, you know, carrot, you know, and I have a central nervous system, just like a horse or a dog or, you know, a cow or, you know, a chicken has. And plants don't have that, you know. So anyways, why I would want to just go to like a little bit more health world, you know. So why are animal products so bad for us? Number one, animal products are stimulants, all right? Just like alcohol, tobacco, heroin, coffee, cocaine, they stimulate our adrenal glands, okay? This is above the kidneys, right? On both sides, we have two of those. With fear hormones animals release before dying, which is adrenaline. Drugs, reproductive hormones feline animals get before being raped on certain times in big groups. GMOs, soy, and corn, they feed them. You know, the worst food goes to animals. Antibiotics and tons of suffering they do all their lives, you know, stolen babies, abuse, you know, the dark, they live in the dark, they never see sun, a lot of them, most of them pretty much. And let's not fool ourselves. It's like only 1% probably is organic free range, maximum to 3%. Everything else is basically farmed animals somewhat. And also free range animals, they die as teenagers and kids. They don't grow up, you know, to be, you know, cows don't get to be 25 years old. After they used and, you know, after they give birth again and again and again, and they take their babies away for the milk that then people take away, you know, that's after 3-4 years, their bodies just give up, and that's when they kill them. So meat industry is dairy industry, okay? So number two would be, we're all different, but we're also the same, right? We're not carnivores like cats. We're not omnivores like dogs or bears. All right. And dogs and cats don't have heart attacks, you know, humans do, right? And we're also not herbivores like a lot of probably vegan communities talking about, because we're not like horse or cows. We basically, our digestive tract is not as long. we're the closest relative that we have in animal kingdom are apes called bonobos, and they consume mostly fruit, except when they're grooming each other, then they eat, you know, their own fleece. Imagine like we would groom each other and eat like our fleece and all this stuff. Oh, I gotta move a little bit differently. So you know, just the fact that we digest fruits in less than an hour, sometimes even 10 minutes, vegetables in 5 hours, and then animal products stand in our gut for 2 or more days. You know, that tells us everything, right? We're not made to eat animal products at all. None of us from Homo sapiens animal species, right? None of us. It's not like one human can eat a lot of meat. It's really good for him or her, and then one not. No, we're all made pretty much the same, right? If you look at our teeth, if you look at our, our head, like our hands, our legs, everything, right? It's really, you know, like we're not made as carnivores, cats. So, you know, like, yeah, in order to use anything what is in the animal products, it takes a lot of energy and effort from our body, right? Your kidneys and livers have to work really hard. And also, animals eat plants, okay? So why just not skip the whole, you know, torture and the whole killing of another living being and just go to fruits and veggies? You know, how simple is that, right? And get all the nutrition and everything. Oh, sorry, like I'm a little bit sweaty. So I'm quite passionate about this topic, probably that's why. So let's come to the third point. So humans are the highest energy electricity-filled beings on this planet, all right? Our nerves and brain work better if electric impulses between those cells travel fast. So fruits are the most non-violent. We don't even hurt plants, right? Like for instance, for a carrot, you actually pull it out of the ground and you eat the whole plant. But with fruits, you don't kill, like, you know, the whole plant. You can have year after year that plant is going to give you, you know, beautiful fruits, and you can survive of it. So fruits are the most non-violent food we have on this planet, with the highest energy and easiest absorption for us, right, in our digestive tract, that enable our body to heal even our nerves and brain. No other food does that, all right? Okay, especially non-zero energy decomposing corpses of other living beings that we call meat, all right? So this is something that you really have to be aware of, you know? Fruits heal, vegetables build, and then the rest of the food is like, you know, like especially animal products are basically zero energy, and they're really not good for you. They're mucus forming. You know, just like after humans die, right? That's how, and cells start to fall apart, so does the animal body. And then regarding milk, so why not drink rat or dog milk, you know, and breast milk, right? So after your cat has little kittens, why don't you remove all the kittens, you know, like they do with calves from the mama cow, and just milk your own cat, right? And drink that milk. You know, is it the same as you're doing to a cow or a goat or any other animals that are like this mass farmed? And the cow has to be pregnant 9 months, and then they take the baby away because that breast milk belongs to human. No, it doesn't. It belongs to animal, the baby animal of that animal, right? To that species. It doesn't belong to us. This is again something bizarre, and technology enabled us that we don't have to. You know, even in the cold climates, we don't have to eat meat. In the cold climates, we don't have to have milk. You know, technology, this is the best part of technology, that brings us the foods that from the places that we actually we can eat, like fruits, we can eat vegetables, even in the winter, even in the cold, right? So this is the whole thing, like it doesn't make sense, you know? So yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like the dairy industry is just insane, doesn't make sense. And it's most acidic and mucus forming in our body, you know, like, so when you're drinking milk, you know, there's all this pus and all this stuff, even with pasteurization and everything inside, it's still inflammatory in your body. Every cell, it's gonna like react to it. You know, I remember when I was still vegetarian child, I would always have like strep throats, ear infections, sinus infections. And then with 17 years, like when I went to vegan, all these problems were gone. You know, it's simple as that, right? So another point that is like really funny, sex drive. Okay, let's talk about sex drive. Okay, because like some of these YouTubers are saying that they started eating fish and their sex drive went up. Upsa-doopsie, so bizarre, you know? So science and tons of allopathic doctors even repeat over and over again that vegans have much better sexual performance because the capillaries and veins to certain areas are not clogged like a meat and dairy eaters, okay? Meat and dairy eaters are much higher, you know, this is science. This is not even me like being over here, oh, I love animals, I don't eat them, you know? This is a science, you know, like basically meat, they're proven, they're tested, statistic and everything. Meat and dairy eaters basically have more clogged arteries, so worse sexual performance. And on top of it, like they don't last so long because they don't have so much energy as well. And another thing is, again, is this mucus, you know, mucus forming thing. It's acidic, right, to our body to have all this, like, you know, foods inside of us that we can't just, you know, digest in 10 minutes or 1 hour. We need like this whole day or two for this. Like, imagine what is doing this. This is basically rotting, decomposing flesh right inside your gut. Just ugh, yuck, right? You know? Some fish are smarter than actually than dogs, okay? And people that go back eating fish, this is like the same animal as chicken, and chicken is the same as cow. The intelligence wise, they're all the same intelligence. Like, I don't understand why they think fish, when you pull it out of the water, they scream and then cry and then beg for their lives. You know, just because we don't have hearing for that, it doesn't mean they're not doing it, you know? Because we don't hear them. It's bizarre that like all this like vegans, right, they go to eating fish and eggs, while also for free range, you know, they don't have use of roosters. So all the baby chicks that are males, they go grinded in free range, just as they get grinded or killed in, you know, industrial farming. And again, only 1% we have the free range, all this organic and all this stuff. And you know what? Don't tell me that you go to any restaurant in Hawaii or I don't know, anywhere else in the world and get organic free range meat and eggs and everything there. You cannot tell what they're gonna sell you, you know? Don't tell us stories, you know? Yeah, and another thing, you know, like, you truly think that acidic mucus forming filled with plastic particles and drugs, fish, right? Why plastic particles? Because in the sea there's so much garbage, so much plastic, you know. Every fish has, I think, on average million fish, it has 11,000 particles of plastic, small, tiny microplastic. Disgusting, you know, and people eat that. And not to talk about the mercury and everything else, right? The heavy metals. And the sweetwater fish, you know, most of it is farmed, especially salmon. But sweetwater fish also has, like, from the farm animal manure, it gets poisoned with all kinds of, like, you know, toxic stuff, drugs and antibiotics and so on. So it's like you can't get away with it, you know. So, and yeah, like, you know, like, can you imagine, like, so eating fish makes your female parts smell better than if you're eating fruits? Because this is what I wanted to ask this girl, you know, who was saying that, like, you know, her sex drive, but like the smells that come out of her, you know, then, you know, if that would be the case, that the fish would smell better than oranges, we would, like, you know, have essential oils, fish essential oil smells. So we would not have orange or lemon or, you know, rosemary essential oils to make our apartment smell nice, you know. Sorry. You know, fish will make you stink. Sorry, you know, like it just, even your breath and then what's going to come through your pores and everything. No, thank you. All right, so 5. All right, this is going to two particular subjects that I mentioned in the title only, but I'm not going to say their name like right now. But basically, doing crazy water fasts and starving yourself has nothing to do with veganism. All right. Or animals, but a lot to do with eating disorders. So please, don't starve yourself. Eat your fruits, eat your vegetables, you know, eat your whatever you have to eat, like that it's not from animals, if, you know, but like, don't tell me like you eating 3 leaves of salad. That's not a meal, you know. the meal is like such a big salad. Like for 3 of my heads, this is a meal for me from salad point of view, you know? So yeah, eat a lot of fresh fruits, veggies, fresh and raw, because why? Because heat destroys enzymes and nutrients we need. So try and be on a raw, wholesome diet as much as possible. I mean, you can cheat and you can eat other stuff, you know, and then some other plant-based foods and you will be fine, right? To me personally, like, yeah, I'm health oriented, but I don't condemn people that eat like vegan junk food. I want them, like, it's a transition food for me, how I see it, you know, the vegan sausages and the vegan fake cheese. It's a transition food, and I would love these people to go on whole foods, healthy plant-based diet, you know, but at the same time, like, they're just damaging and poisoning their own body. At least they're not hurting somebody else in our planet that, you know, industrial farming is doing. So yeah, so heat destroys pretty much a lot of this, you know, but wholesome best diet will, yeah, the thing is, like, if it's something wrong with you, like, we encourage you to consume as much as possible fresh fruits, because of this energy. If you remember, I was saying in the first area, the energy that has electric energy and life energy that fruits has, and it's also the most non-violent food. If you had major problem before, you need to fix those problems, of course. You know, a lot of people come, they have problems, and they come to the veganism and they don't understand their problem really well, like with something with the digestion, especially like malabsorption and anemia. You have to really clean up your, your digestive tract, but not with crazy water fasts, because they will like just flush out all the good and bad bacteria. You have to bring in the fresh fruit and the fresh vegetables to make like this nice balance, you know, with inside your good bacteria and the bad bacteria. Fix your malabsorption and anemia. Anemia, once you clean up the colon and digestive tract, anemia will get fixed as well, because, you know, you clean your plaque, you know, that it's like all glued on there inside from all the dairy that you did, or in my case dairy and a lot of honey, raw honey, and that also like glues on the walls, you know. And also another thing is meat and grains, you know, their grains are like a glue inside your intestines, so you really make sure that you clean this up with a lot of cellulose and a lot of like fruits that are very astringent and healing for our gut. So clean plaque out of there, clean parasites out of colon, enable your good bacteria to grow, and digestive problems will be gone. Also, taking tons of supplements will cause chemical imbalance in your body, or consuming some exotic mushrooms, like other fermented foods like beer, vinegar, and kombucha, you know, will enhance growth of yeast and mold and candida in your belly, right? Like, for instance, like with the SIBO, why don't you try peppermint oil before you start eating meat, which is insane, you know? Or for instance, Dr. Moore's Parasite M herbs are really good because they work as antibiotic, and they kind of like, because they're herbal, they enable good bacteria to survive and bad one to basically go away. And of course, parasites, you know, allopathic doctors say, like, in the West, we don't have parasites, but we actually do, like flukes and ropeworms and so on. You know, we all have them. And especially if you were eating a lot of dairy and a lot of meat before in your life that is mucus forming and also acidic, this will really mess up your gut, you know. So you're definitely going to have parasites in your body. So sixth point that I wanted to point out, it's topic of plastic surgery. Okay, if you did breast implants, I did not, you know, I never had like any Botox and nothing. Like, I haven't done anything to my face. Yeah, I would love these lines to go away. I would love these lines to go away. You know, I can look probably even 10 years younger. You know, at age 44, I could basically look like 20, not like 35. I would say that I look now, maybe a little bit older. But you know, I never done anything because you probably saw, I'm just gonna say, like, you know, first of all, this fillers and Botox and everything, this is toxins, this is chemicals, right? This is not natural. Like, no matter what this industry that's making tons of money more and more every year, also on men and women, says breast implants are not healthy for you. It's, you know, it's not natural. It's not like they put inside like, you know, melons, you know, they actually put a artificial thing, you know, a silicone or whatever. And this can cause a lot of health problems. All right. I've seen, as a detox specialist, I've seen a lot of girls came to me, young girls in their 30s and 35, you know, and they all have some kind of problems because of the breast implants. I had even one case from Berlin that her breast implants kind of went almost, you know, they spilled out, and it was a fear they're going to come into her lungs. And I mean, crazy. And we detoxed her out like in a year and a half. She was totally all the symptoms free. Before, she was very ill. She was on 5 antidepressants. You know, her nail were all breaking, her hair were all falling out. Like, she had major problems. She gained tons of weight. Beautiful girl, you know, and like, I'm so happy. Like, she lost her job, she lost her, you know, fiance, and now her life is, everything is back to normal, and she's living this wonderful life. She still eats fruits mostly. And this is something I got to tell you, like, you know, if we're promoting, even like a detox specialist, no, if you're promoting natural way of life, how come a lot of these people then do all this plastic surgery? I mean, it doesn't make sense. To me, this is like a warning sign, okay? If they have like a plastic surgery done on them and they're promoting this healthy diet, sorry, it doesn't go together, you know? Like, it just doesn't work that way, you know? And of course, I watch a lot of, like, I don't know if you know this show, Botched, you know, like, you know, plastic surgery is no joke. It's a surgery. You can always die, and also anesthesia can harm your brain, you know, like, you can never tell like what's going to happen. So stay away from plastic surgery, you know, especially just eat healthy, you know. Why all this plastic surgery? And accept your body how it is, because you're not only body, you're also your soul. So if you love your soul, if you really truly love yourself, you know, you are going to appreciate this body, and you're going to enhance it as much as you can with, you know, healthy diet and compassionate lifestyle. You're not going to go and like botched it up and put in like some things and like injections and all this stuff, you know. Like, another thing, we see problems with the breast implants again and again. It is not supposed to be in your body, and health's supposed to be above vanity, right? Stay away from, also another thing that I noticed, alkaline water, you know. Alkaline water, it will ruin your digestion and ability to digest stuff. Okay, so don't take any alkaline water. All right, the 7th point would be from the animal rights organization. We also got information, meat and dairy industries found advertising to young people is moving to YouTube and Instagram, right? And Facebook, of course. It's a new, I mean, I come from advertising background, you know, I worked in advertising for 14 years in New York City. So I know this really, really well how that goes. But it is a new online anti-vegan propaganda, and they pay more if you have more followers or more subscriptions, right? Some are quite huge because they realize young people do not watch TV, they don't read newspapers anymore, they follow their various social media, you know, heroes. So of course that is where this whole advertising is moving, all this propaganda and big, you know, and target as actually vegan YouTubers and Instagrammers. Who are influencers, you know, they're their target, right? So I would not surprise, I mean, follow the money. Like, I'm not, you know, I can't confirm it, but I heard from a lot of animal organization, you know, groups that's what's going on, that basically they're targeting this fake vegans, you know, who are not actually, who are more into like making money than care about animals. And they're basically buying them off, you know? So for big dollars, you know, for big euros or whatever, they change their stories in a couple of weeks or even months. They come up with some illness that supposedly plant-based diet gave them, which is pile of, you know. And then, yeah, did you notice that they go from extreme raw plant-based diet to crazy restrictions? Like immediately to meat and dairy immediately. This is so, you know, while there are tons of plant-based diet versions in between, you know, there's because that's what they're doing. They're promoting animal abuse immediately, you know, and slavery, of course. well, that's why I think because they're paid to play out these extremes in order to support meat and dairy industries that are losing money, but want to stay alive also to get money from the government like they did now, you know, like the only farmers, meat and dairy farmers, and the only ones that are getting money from the government. And we pay for that, you know, we pay for that, which is horrible in Europe, in US, everywhere. And me as a vegan, like, you know, I feel that this is like breaking, like, you know, taking away my basic human rights, because why do I have to support this with my tax money? You know, like, why government is supporting that? Support organic orchards, you know, like farmers that are growing fruits and vegetables. This is where I want my money to go, you know, if we're talking about taxes. You know, support the good people, organic, they're protecting our soil, you know, not making everything a mess and poisoning our oceans and waters. Let's go to the consciousness, all right? This will be like 8, and then I have 9, and then I'm just going to be done with this video. But we are what we eat, okay? Consciousness of our foods we consume becomes our consciousness. You know, nutrients and food in general we consume becomes the building blocks of each one of our cells. Also, animals that get the worst GMO corn and soy, hormones, antibiotics, medicine to even stay alive in horrid conditions they live in, you know, it's all this like low energy filled with suffering and sadness and drugs, and GMO foods will create our cells to have the same low and suffering energy. You know, why do you think people are more and more depressed, you know, also more sick? And despite the whole fantastic medical system, like I said before, and allopathic medicine, we need more drugs to stay alive, to be, you know, to be functioning normally, you know, and despite the animal testing that does not work too well, right? You know, every next generation is sicker, more unhappy, lives shorter based on the new research. I mean, this is also crazy, like that, you know, like my children would live shorter amount of time than, for instance, you know, my generation, or I will live short amount of time than my mom's generation, right? It's crazy, right? It's just right there is another insanity, you know? Why is this happening? If we're so perfect and we're eating so good, so much protein is going to make you strong. No, actually, you know what? Protein healed a lot of people. You know, Dr. Moore said, you know, here's buried Dr. Protein, Mr. Protein, you know? I agree with that, you know? We got to bury this protein myth. Proteins are not too good for us. It really puts a lot of pressure on our kidneys and liver to work way too hard. So by eating tons of fruits, you use the least amount of resources, harm the least amounts of animals and plants, and also planet. And the best part, you raise your own vibration, let your soul shine properly. You know what I mean? It's so beautiful, right? Like, compassion is practical. So it's like by eating fruits, a lot of fruits, what happens? You know, for planting a tree and getting a lot of fruits, you need the least amount of land, okay? And the least amount of water even. And then you can feed a lot more people, and you protect our, you know, there's no cruelty involved, right? You don't even destroy the plant. This plant is going to live on for maybe like, you know, 10, 20, 30, 50 years. It's so sustainable. It's really helpful, you know, right? Like also free-range organic, super duper happy hen eggs. They're toxic. They still create mucus, and they still create, like, they're still pure fat and cholesterol that causes trouble in your body. So I didn't become vegan for the likes. I didn't become vegan for the popularity, YouTube fame, or money. I did it for the animals, all right? Planet and the future of humanity that I do want to see. I don't want our species to be destroyed, basically because we're eating ourselves alive. I want us to, you know, I don't want us to be destroyed because we are not able to evolve as a species. And evolving means, to me, you know, eating less and less violent foods, right? That we are evolving that way. And another thing, there is no planet B, and this planet is dying. And this is an urgent matter, probably the most important one, because meat and dairy industries are #1 reason for destruction of this planet, right after fossil fuel and fashion industry, confirmed, you know, all together, basically. So you care about our planet? Go vegan, you know? Care about your kids? Go vegan. Care about wildlife and trees and oceans and people starving in a third world country? Do something about it for real. Go vegan, you know? And vegan, I'm saying vegan as not just like for your health, but for everything, you know? And it's such a simple thing to do for each one of us, you know, and we can change the whole world to better, and each one of us counts more than we were prepared to admit. You cannot be against animal abuse but then support it by consuming animals, all right? It doesn't work that way. If you're eating and consuming animal products, you are supporting animal abuse. There's no other way around it, you know? And you're either vegan or you do not eat meat, eggs, cream, cheese, or wear wool, silk, leather, or you're not. There's no in between, you know? There's like, you know, then there's no in between this case, you know? I did it, so yes, I did it for the animals 27 years ago, but science started proving more and more that plant-based diets are healthier on all levels for human beings. Even vegan junk foods eaters, right, like I mentioned before, are healthier than non-vegan healthy eaters based on statistics, all right? All independent for corporations, scientific research proves that. I do not eat or use or wear anything from animals. And I am a mommy to 2 rescued ex-street dogs. All of my pets were actually rescued. And yes, I even started my own low-profit, ethical, healthy fashion brand, bzecoland.com, that I'm wearing right now, because I wanted to have confirmation that what I'm wearing is also not abusing animals, not abusing my planet, and not abusing people in Asia that fast fashion is all about, okay? Vegan for me means almost for 3 decades now, basically protector of the animals and the planet, and even humanity, okay? It's an ethical stance. It's not a diet. And true vegans do not support use, abuse, or cruelty towards animals ever. Once we decide to be vegan and educate ourselves what the whole movement of animal liberation and healing of the planet is truly about, there's no going back, all right? So whoever is, you know, you can call yourself plant-based eater if you don't mind about other injustices to animals. But just don't, like, I wish people would stop abusing this word vegan that actually is all about ethical stance. It's not even about health, despite the fact that it's wonderful because, you know, plant-based diet is way healthier, right? All right. I was, again, a little bit longer than I wanted to be. I'm going to post below very, very interesting, fantastic videos on this topic. I encourage you to open up your heart, to trust your heart and your gut, you know, not work only with your brain. I mean, yes, with your brain too. But please, please, you know, think about other people. Think about other beings, other souls on this planet before you just drop plant-based diet and, you know, and the whole concept of veganism, if you want to, and go and consume you know, animal-based foods. All right, take care of yourself. Subscribe, like. Thank you for listening. I appreciate all of you that you already on plant-based diet. I want you, more of you to go on a plant-based diet, and hopefully also you do it for the animals. And if you're doing it for health, that you're going to start educating yourself how important it is that you're not only healing yourself, you know, that you're healing the whole planet, and you're preventing so much cruelty and injustices by just basically being vegan for long term for the rest of your life. And for me, I can assure you that I will be vegan for the rest of my life. There's no chance I'm ever going back. All right, take care. Love to you. Mwah! And a lot of health, a lot of love, a lot of laughing, and a lot of joy. All right, take care. Bye.